The Senkaku/Diaoyu Islands are in the East China Sea. The islands cover about 1.3 kilometers. The islands are rich in gas and oil. Whoever owns the islands will also own the surrounding seas, which also provide fish. That country will gain more land and can sell the resources for money. The islands are about 170 kilometers away from Japan and 400 some kilometers away from China. In the 15th century, a document was published during the Ming Dynasty that mentioned the islands according to China. In 1895, Japan added the islands to their territory, later leasing them to an entrepreneur who opened a fish processing plant there.
At the start of World War II, 1939, the islands were deserted. At the end of World War II, until 1972, U.S. took control of the islands after Japan surrendered in World War II.
In 1969, a UN report suggested the seabed might be rich with oil reserves. In 1971, China and Taiwan declared ownership of the islands. In 1972, the islands returned to Japan after years of U.S. occupation.
Since 1971, Chinese ships seen frequently sailing by. In September 2012, Japan bought the islands from Japanese businessmen, starting an anti-protest in China.
How should the East China Sea dispute be resolved? China feels entitled to the islands because they have a lot of power and influence. They also claim that a document was published during the Ming Dynasty that is the first mention of the islands, if what they say is true. China is also a nearby country.
Japan feels entitled to the islands because first, they are the closest to the islands. Japan has already owned the islands before, and a citizen has a fishing processor plant on it. China has also been aggressive when fighting for it.
We think that Japan should get the islands because first, Japan already owned the islands before. They were already in a possession of Japan, and a citizen of Japan has a fish plant there. Next, the islands are closer to Japan. Japan is 170 kilometers away from the island, which is closer than China. Finally, Japan will use the resources more responsibly. The fishing industry is very important in Japan, and they can use the surrounding seas.
Thank you very much.